Hello, and welcome to the Designing with Love podcast. I am your host, Jackie Pellegrin, where my goal is to bring you information, tips, and tricks as an instructional designer. Hello, instructional designers and educators. Welcome to episode 101 of the Designing with Love podcast. In this episode, I'll provide some tips to help you discover smart, low-stress ways to build connections that can genuinely move your career forward. So, grab your notebook, a cup of coffee, and settle in as we explore this topic together. Today, I'm breaking this down into 5 connection moves you can try this week to build real relationships and grow professionally. Let's start with the biggest shift of all, because once your mindset changes, everything else feels easier. Connection move 1 is all about reframing networking so it feels human, not like you're selling something. Here's the reframe. Networking isn't collecting contacts, it's building relationships over time. And relationships are created through small moments, shared interests, helpful conversations, genuine encouragement, and mutual respect. A good mental model is this. Instead of asking, what can I get from this person? Try asking, what can I learn from this person? Or how can I support them, even in a small way? Because when you approach networking with curiosity and generosity, it stops feeling like self-promotion and starts feeling like community. Here's a quick reflection prompt you can try. If networking makes you feel uncomfortable, ask yourself, what definition of networking am I carrying around? If it's asking for favors, of course it feels stressful. But if it's building relationships, it becomes a lot more natural. And once you stop thinking of networking as a big performance, the next question becomes, okay, what do I actually do without it taking over my life? This is where we keep things realistic. Connection move 2 is about tiny, repeatable actions, because consistency beats intensity every single time. A lot of people think networking has to look like conferences, big events, or awkward cold messages. But honestly, the most effective networking usually happens in small micro moments. Here are a few low-stress ways to do that. Option 1, leave meaningful comments on LinkedIn or inside professional groups. Not just great post, but something specific, such as, I love how you frame this. I've noticed something similar when working with SMEs, especially when timelines are tight. Option 2, send a short message to someone whose work you admire. One example can be, I really appreciated your post about learner engagement. I'm working on something similar. Thank you for sharing that. Option 3, reconnect with someone you already know. A former coworker, classmate, mentor, or professor. You could say something like, hey, I saw this and thought of you. Hope you're doing well. How have things been going? And here's a key tip. If this feels overwhelming, set a tiny weekly goal. Something like 2 thoughtful comments, 1 message, 1 follow-up. That's it. That's networking. Now here's the thing. As you start reaching out in small ways, you'll also want to make it easier for people to understand what you do and what you're interested in. Connection move 3 is what I call leaving breadcrumbs, little signals that help the right people find you, remember you, and think of you when opportunities pop up. Because here's the truth. People can't refer you if they don't know what you do. This doesn't mean you need to post every day or become an influencer. It just means creating a few simple visibility points that communicate what you're learning, what you're building, and what you're interested in. Some examples of value breadcrumbs can include a short post sharing a lessons learned from a project, a simple portfolio update, a template or checklist you created, a quick reflection like, here's what I'm noticing about onboarding lately. If posting feels hard, try using this formula. 1 insight plus 1 example plus 1 question. Insight, what you learned. Example, where you saw it. Question, invite others in. Even a once-a-month post can help the right people remember you. But even with great visibility, connection can still fizzle if we don't nurture it. So the next move is where you turn a moment into momentum. Connection move 4 is the follow-up, because that's where a quick chat becomes a real relationship. And don't worry, I'm keeping this simple and low pressure. A follow-up doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be formal. It just needs to be intentional. Here are a few easy follow-up options you can try. Option 1. After a conversation or comment exchange, I really enjoyed our conversation. Thanks again. Your perspective helped me think differently. Option 2. If they shared a resource. I checked out the article you recommended. So helpful. Thank you. Option 3. If you want to stay connected without pressure. If you ever want to swap ideas again, I'm always up for a quick chat. And if you want a simple system, keep a quick networking notes list. Just a note on who you spoke with, where you met, one detail you want to remember, and a next step. Because the magic isn't just meeting people. The magic is staying in touch. Once you have a few warm connections, the real magic is building a circle that supports your growth long term, not just for your next job, but for your next level. Connection Move 5 is about professional growth through community, finding mentors, peers, and adjacent experts who help you sharpen your skills and stretch in the best way. A lot of people assume mentorship has to be formal. It doesn't. One of the best approaches is finding what I call adjacent mentors, people who are 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. They still remember what it feels like to be where you are, and their advice is often practical and current. Here are a few growth circle strategies you can try. Strategy 1. Ask for a 15-minute informational chat. I'd love to learn how you got into your current role. Would you be open to a quick 15-minute conversation? Strategy 2. Join 1 or 2 communities and show up consistently. Don't join 10. Choose 1 or 2 where you can actually engage. Strategy 3. Offer value as you grow. Encouragement counts. Sharing a resource counts. Making an introduction counts. Your network isn't just about opportunities. It's about support, perspective, and becoming more confident in your craft. And when you put these 5 connection moves together, you'll start to notice something powerful. Opportunities tend to show up when relationships are already in motion. Let me share a quick real-life example of what that can look like. Let's say you're scrolling LinkedIn and someone in the instructional design space posts about a common challenge, maybe stakeholder pushback, tight timelines, or a tricky SME relationship. Instead of just liking the post, you leave a thoughtful comment, something specific. Maybe you share a strategy that worked for you, or you ask a genuine question. The person replies. The conversation continues in the comments. A day or 2 later, you send a quick message like, "Hey, I really enjoyed that conversation. Thanks for engaging. If you ever want to compare notes, I'd be happy to chat sometime." You hop on a short 15-minute call. No pressure, no pitch, just a real conversation. Then, a few weeks later, that person sees a project opportunity, hears someone mention a role, or joins a conversation where your skill set fits, and you come to mind. Not because you asked for something, but because you showed up thoughtfully, you followed up, and you built a small connection that had room to grow. That's how networking often works. It's not instant, it's layered. All right, here's your simple challenge for this week. I call it the 3 Connections Challenge, and it's intentionally low stress. Connection 1. Comment thoughtfully to 1 post in your field. Connection 2. Message 1 person you admire with a genuine note, appreciation, or a simple question. Connection 3. Reconnect with 1 person you already know, a former coworker, classmate, or mentor, just to check in. And if you do this challenge, I'd love to hear about it. Share a quick win, big or small, because connection wins deserve to be celebrated. Also, if you want something you can actually use after this episode, I created a free interactive flip card toolkit with all 5 connection moves. Each card has the key idea and a try this. It's linked in the show notes for you. And I'm also linking a really helpful networking resource from Bottom Line in the show notes. It walks through what networking is, why it matters, and includes practical tools like LinkedIn tips and informational interviewing to help you get started. So, between the 5 connection moves and those resources, you've got a simple plan you can come back to anytime. As we wrap up, remember, networking doesn't have to be loud, awkward, or exhausting. The goal isn't to meet everyone. The goal is to build a few meaningful relationships that grow with you over time. Start small, show up consistently, leave a few breadcrumbs, follow up with care, and trust that tiny moments, one comment, one message, one conversation, can create momentum you can't always predict in the moment. Before I close, here's an inspiring quote from Maya Angelou. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So, as you build your network, focus less on being impressive and more on being genuine. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep designing with love. Thank you for taking some time to listen to this podcast episode today. Your support means the world to me. If you'd like to help keep the podcast going, you can share it with a friend or colleague, leave a heartfelt review, or offer a monetary contribution. Every act of support, big or small, makes a difference, and I'm truly thankful for you.